Welcome to the gardens at Cheshire. We're a specialist grower that overwinters tender plants in our greenhouses. Now the month is March. We've just gone through a typical New England winter, but inside our greenhouses, our customers' plants are thriving. So in this video, we're going to do a deep dive into what's growing and how we take care of your plants in March. This is a Calivia that in just a few weeks went from nice, healthy, tight buds to being fully open and looking just spectacular. Now, one of the challenges that we face all the time is knowing what to give our plants and what condition of health they are in. This is a lantana that in early March looks a little bit sad, but all you have to do is wait a few weeks and sure enough, there is the initiation of this year's new growth. And that is what we do. We know how plants grow, we know what they need, and we make sure that we give it to them at the right time of year so that they can thrive. All of our plants are carefully monitored to manage any threat of pest and disease, and we have specialist staff trained in that very purpose. Let's hear more about that.
Hi, I'm Danny. I'm the pest management specialist here at Gardens at Cheshire, and I'm here in front of these giant bay trees, and they're very special to the clients to the point where they put insurance on them. And one thing about bay trees that is special is that they tend to get a lot of scale insects on them because the foliage is so dense. And so what I do to treat that is I use an oil-based pesticide, which is organic. And the thing about the oil pesticides is you have to get full coverage, because if you leave out like one little leaf like this without the oil on it, the scale can stay there and then it will just respread. And the way the oil works is it suffocates the insect to the point where they can't breathe, and then they just die.
Hi, my name is Matt. I'm a horticultural specialist here at Gardens at Cheshire. Today we're going to be grooming this areca palm. We're going to thin it out, take some of the dead foliage off.
Grooming is a very important part of our day-to-day care of plants. Many plants will get groomed multiple times while in our care. And there's lots of benefits. Physically, you get eyes on the plant to assess its overall condition. And by thinning out the crown, you increase airflow, which is beneficial. And you also increase the ability for sunlight to get to the crown, which can initiate new growth and new branches. Many of our customers rely on the spectacular plumbago to give them summer-long flowers. This plant has beautiful blue flowers, but there's also a white version that's available. Now, in our growing conditions, we've got them in a greenhouse, which means that there's no wind. So it's very important that we prune our plants to coincide for when they go back out into the natural environment. If they're allowed just to grow at the rate that they would grow, they get very long and leggy, and they wouldn't stand up to the outdoor conditions. So we take great care to prune these plants multiple times to make sure that they're at just the right degree of growth, ready to be returned to the customer. So here you can see the quantity of foliage that was removed from these plants. It really is quite substantial. And I don't think that there's many home gardeners that would have the courage to remove this amount of foliage. Let's move on to some more of our beautiful plants. We have a substantial collection of citrus from our customers, and our greenhouse in March has the most wonderful fragrance. Just look at that. So let's feature another plant. This is the papyrus. This is a plant that's water loving, and if, like the plumbago, if we leave it, it'll get very long and lanky and it can't stand up to the outdoor conditions. So we go to great lengths to give it a significant prune to keep it in top shape. So let's take a closer look at this process. Pruning itself is not difficult. You have your clippers and you cut, but you need to know when to cut and also what to cut. And that is a secret with any pruning of any plants, not just tropicals. And just as we saw with the plumbagos, look at the volume of growth that is removed, knowing what the outcome will become when the plants start to regrow. And that's the skill that we have here at Gardens at Cheshire. Let's continue our tour and look at a few more plants. This is the beautiful and very graceful mandevilla. It comes in a number of different flower colors, a plant well worth keeping year to year. Big luxurious leaves, and we start to see the new vining growth. Now there are many plants that can be trained as a topiary. They don't have prolific flowers, but they do have a very graceful shape, and that is something that many of our customers trust us to prune on their behalf. And finally, we have the beautiful and very striking banana. Many of our customers value the grace and integrity that a banana can bring to their outdoor spaces, and they trust us to look after them. And these are not easy to move around, but it's something that we can do for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.